America's territories, arguably a topic that is rarely touched on and not many people talk about. The United States has a total of 14 territories, but only 5 major ones, those being Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and Northern Mariana Islands. In this video, I will guide you as I show you the top 10 most interesting facts about America's territories. FYI, not just the 5 major ones. Having researched this topic heavily, I can safely say there's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to the U.S. territories, and I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty much an expert on this topic by now. So without further ado, relax, get your favorite snack, I'd go for an apple pie, and let's get into it. Number 10. Northern Mariana Islands. I bet if someone were to tell you the Northern Mariana Islands were an official territory of the U.S., you probably would have never guessed it. Well, hey, no need to worry, that's why I'm here. The Northern Mariana Islands are located on the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean. The total population is 57,910 people as of 2021, and the islands usually have a tropical rainforest climate, being in the mid-80s all year round. These islands have some interesting history. For example, the island of Tinian was actually the takeoff point for the famous known plane Enola Gay, responsible for dropping the atomic bomb on the city of Hiroshima. Today, these islands run on money from tourism, and if you are curious about visiting, you should. Like I said, you have a nice weather and there's various things you can do like visiting the beaches, especially Bird Island Beach. Explore abandoned places like the old Japanese lighthouse, and finally, snorkel, which if you are a must-go to place like the Grotto, which offers a beautiful view of the ocean and its underwater limestone caverns. Number 9. Puerto Rico. Officially known as Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, you most likely knew and heard about Puerto Rico before, but you probably never stopped and realized that Puerto Rico is the largest U.S. territory with a population of a whopping 2.8 million residents. Puerto Rico's climate consists of warm, sunny, and humid days, with the weathering being in the mid to high 80s. Now, something you should know about this territory is that it was first discovered by Christopher Columbus and was originally owned by the Spains. But just like we got other islands, America invaded Puerto Rico in the Spanish-American War. After winning the war, Spain had to give it up. Puerto Rico also, like other islands, mainly keeps itself off the ground by tourism. It also is the only U.S. territory where English is not the main language. Should have studied my Spanish Duolingo lessons. Number 8. American Samoa. Located in the South Pacific Ocean, with a population of 46,366 people in 2021, this island was officially made a U.S. territory in 1900. Unlike other U.S. territories, Americans actually need a passport if they wish to visit American Samoa. When it comes to the climate, it is hot, humid, and rainy all throughout the year. American Samoa is also home to more than 950 species of fish and even has the largest marine biodiversity in the United States. Since this is the case, you might think it is a good idea to use all of the fish for profit, and which they do. 93% of America Samoa's exports is canned tuna. Honestly, this seems like a fun island to visit. National parks, scuba diving, beaches, and even fast food restaurants can be found here. Number 7. U.S. Virgin Islands. The U.S. Virgin Islands lie between the North Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean. Unlike Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands weren't acquired by conquest. Shocker, huh? Instead, the United States bought the island from Denmark in 1916 for, get this, a whopping $25 million in gold, which, by the way, is worth some $595 million in 2021. This act was called the Treaty of the Danish West Indies. Some interesting facts about the U.S. Virgin Islands is that it is the only place under American jurisdiction where the rule of the road is to drive on the left. The islands are known for their white, relaxing beaches, and of course snorkeling. They're also experiencing a mongoose infestation problem, but let's not talk about that. Number 6. Wake Island. Most likely you, like me, are slightly confused about the island's strange name. Well, I actually researched this, and it turns out the island was named after sea captain Samuel Wake, who discovered the island way back in 1796. Today, the island is recognized as a historic landmark, and is used today as a refueling stop for military aircraft. So why is the island a historic landmark? Well, for the intense and bloody battle that occurred here, known as the Battle of Wake Island, which happened simultaneously as the more popular historic battle, the Pearl Harbor attack. To give you a summary, in 1941, on the morning of the 8th of December, Japanese forces attacked the island and managed to gain control, forcing all military and non-military personnel to follow their commands. And well, long story short, the Japanese ended up capturing 1,616 Americans, in which most were killed. So yeah, pretty dark history, and definitely rightly earned that historic landmark. I guess it's a good thing access is prohibited to the public. Number 5. Johnston Atoll. Located in the Pacific Ocean, Johnston Atoll is home to more than 300 species of fish and 54 species of coral. It would totally be a blast to snorkel here and relax at some beach, except you can't. Johnston Atoll, just like Wake Island, has its access prohibited to any visitors. You might think at first, oh darn, what a bummer, but hold on just a minute, because this island has been used since the mid-1930s, and during that time, the island has been through a lot, from being a naval refueling depot, missile testing site, airbase, etc., etc. Trust me, you don't want to visit the contaminated island. Number 4. Midway Island. Midway Island is also known in the Pacific Ocean. It is called Midway Island because it's supposed to be the midway point between North America and Japan. But also you can see in this image, it's not. Midway Island is actually pretty interesting. On June 4th, 1942, 6 months after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Japanese Navy started attacking Midway. They wanted the islands as a way to later on capture Hawaii and, well, then the mainland. The U.S. Navy managed to win the hard-fought battle, turning the tables on Japan in World War II. Today, the island is a national wildlife refuge, all as well as an emergency landing spot, thanks to an old World War II airstrip for any nearby planes. Number 3. Kingman Reef. In my opinion, I think this territory is the one with the coolest name. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, like King Kong or something. I don't know. But anyway, Kingman Reef is, well, how do you say this? Pretty much nothing at all. Seriously, it's literally just a small patch of sand and rocks barely above sea level. The reef used to be a naval reservation, but now it's used as a national wildlife refuge, and that's about it to be honest. Number 2. Palmyra Atoll. Just south of Kingman Reef, you can find yourself with Palmyra Atoll. This small island is a national wildlife refuge that today is used for fun, and you can do things like snorkeling, strolling the beaches, except fishing. Surprising, I know, but these waters are rarely fished. Finally, number 1. Guam. Guam is another popular spot for tourists, and I mean, why shouldn't it? It's got a nice tropical climate, there's a bunch of activities to do all day long like snorkeling, cave exploring, fishing, hiking, seeing waterfalls, museums, parks, beaches, and way more. Guam is simply the place to be. Most of funding for the island comes from tourism and the US military. Also, fun fact, the Japanese attacked Guam during the Pearl Harbor attack as well, but unfortunately for the Japanese, they lost the battle. Out of all the U.S. territories, I think I would visit Kingman Reef, as it's the most interesting. I'm just joking. To be honest with you, I'd either visit Guam or Puerto Rico. Which one would you choose out of these two territories? Have you ever been to either? Thanks for watching, and see you next time.